Hey guys, UFC 290 this weekend, massive card. Obviously, I'm going to be going through the main card, which starts with Bo Nickel versus Trayshawn Gore. Massive fight. This is Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel, apparently, he's a massive prospect in America. He won a ton of wrestling championships, Division One, for 4 years in a row or something. That's insane. Knowing that people like Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns, they go through stuff like in Division Two. This guy's a Division One and a winner in it. Yeah, that's going to be impressive and that's going to be cool to watch. The interesting thing about this fight though is Bo Nickel's a minus 1,300 underdog. How did we get there? Trayshawn Gore, he's known for one thing. Kind of when you look at him fight, he has his abilities. He's somewhat of a prospect, but not really. But he's known for one thing, and that is he's got power. He's got power in the middleweight division. We don't know anything about Bo Nickel's chin. Obviously, he probably will take down Trayshawn Gore and destroy him, but a minus 1,300 odds, that's better than what Amanda Nunes got against Juliana Pena the first time. That's insane. This is really, really interesting. So I'm not going to count out Trayshawn Gore in this. I think he could potentially clip him, and there's always that chance. So if you're thinking about it, maybe do it because it's a massive chance. He's a plus 750. That's really, really good. That is really, really good. Anyway, moving on. Actually, let's continue on this. Bo Nickel, he's promoted so much. The countdown, he has his own spot because I guess it's a ton of wrestling fans love him because they see this guy and they're like, oh, that's our guy. But he is a very interesting prospect. Everyone's thinking, in the future, maybe he'll fight Izzy. If Izzy's still around, I don't think he will be. But, obviously that Hamzat versus Bo Nickel fight, he's kind of, hyping up. So we're kind of looking past Trayshawn Gore, and I think Trayshawn Gore has a shot. What was it in the countdown? Was it Rashad Evans was talking with him, and I was like, maybe Rashad would have something up his sleeve. Maybe he knows how to deal with these Division One wrestlers. One being John Jones was a Division One wrestler, I believe, and guess what? Rashad versed him. So maybe we'll see. Anyway, next fight on the card. This is going coming from home, so I'm gonna have a little bit of bias here because it's Dan Hooker. He's from New Zealand, but Jalen Turner really showed up against Marius Gamrot. Gamrot did not look like an unstoppable, really cool, awesome prospect in the lightweight division that could, really rival the top five. But Jalen Turner put that on him and really showed who Gamrot really was. Even though he lost, I thought Jalen did a really, really good job. And he's got that reach. Dan Hooker's got the same reach as him, though. That's insane. It's a pretty even fight. Jalen Turner's obviously got the favourite here because Dan Hooker hasn't had the best run. But people forget that he had an amazing fight against Dustin Poirier. He nearly won that. Dan Hooker's not like a Tony Ferguson, where, in my opinion, Tony Ferguson, if you look at his resume, if you look at the people he beat, they're not doing the best now either, if you know what I'm saying. So, but Dan Hooker, the caliber of fighters that he put on, especially Dustin Poirier, it really showed. He can stand with these guys, and I think he's at City Kickboxing. He can do his stuff. I think he could win this. I think this is a pretty good underdog pick, in my opinion. I think he really wants to get back to where he was. His best stuff is at the lightweight division. He tried to go down to featherweight. It didn't work. But we'll see. I think Dan Hooker's going to win this. It's a good fight. It's going to be a really cool fight because there's going to be no takedowns. Wrestling can get really boring when it's a bad wrestler, like Kamaru Usman Division 2. But Bo Nickel, he puts it on. He's fast, he's quick, he gets into the submission, he gets it done. So I think that'll be a really cool fight. Moving on. Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis, he's fucked. How can I say this? Another Aussie. Robert Whittaker's probably going to win this, let's be real. I looked at an interview with him the other day. His motivation is to get to Izzy. He wants that third fight. He said like he didn't want Pereira to win, he wanted Izzy to win because that's the fight he wanted or something like that. And I thought that was really honorable and really interesting to think that this fight is this man, Dricus du Plessis, is the only person in the way of him versing Izzy again. And I don't think Dricus is that good of a fighter. I think we saw that in most of his fights. He's a middleweight. Let's be real. He's one of the casual middleweights. I think there's a massive gap between someone like Pereira and his striking, Robert and Izzy, and then you got the rest of the middleweights who are just kind of, they're good but they're not great. Let's just say that. I think the odds are correct. A minus 410 favourite for Robert Whittaker seems about right. There is always the chance that you clip Robert Whittaker, but you know, he versed Yoel Romero. He got clipped and he got back up and he won the fight. So let's be real. Rob's going to win. He's going to get his fight against Izzy in September and they're going to do it in Sydney. Rob versus Izzy. It's a New Zealander and a Sydney man, an Australian. So you'll see. Like that's what they want. They don't want Dricus du Plessis. Even though Izzy wants it, they don't want it. The UFC wants Robert Whittaker because Robert Whittaker will get the money flowing in for Australia and Izzy will get the money flowing in from New Zealand. It's just how the UFC works. And they've given him Dricus du Plessis because he's somewhat of an easy fight and Izzy kind of wants him even though he's terrible. You know? Moving on. Brandon Moreno versus Alexandra Pantoja. I get this name wrong all the time. Sorry. Yeah, Brazil's getting another champ. I always like to think there's kind of like a scale. Right now, Brazil doesn't have a champ. Brazil, most of the time, always has a champ. And whenever a champ goes away, there always seems to be another one popping up somewhere. I think this will be it. I think Alexandra Pantoja will get this. I think he'll get it done. He's beat him twice now, I believe. Yeah, this is a fight that is interesting. I'm going with another underdog pick here with Alexandra Pantoja. I don't know how he's an underdog. He's beat Brandon Moreno pretty easily twice now. And Brandon Moreno, I don't believe, has gotten better as in the wrestling defense as he has just joined the wrestling with an offensive. And Figgy and Moreno's wrestling is nothing compared to Alexandra Pantoja. And Brazilian wrestling we've seen in sparring footage, Pantoja completely destroyed Davison Figueiredo in the wrestling department. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Alexandra Pantoja. I think the striking, obviously Brandon Moreno probably wins that, but I think because Brandon Moreno's kicks aren't the greatest unless he's versing Kai Kara France where he kicks him in the liver and absolutely drops him and it's done. He's actually not the most creative fighter. We've seen that in the Figgy fights. He kind of keeps it similar. That's why Figgy beat him the third time. He switched it up to the fourth one, but I think Pantoja's got this. Moving on to the main event. Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. This is a really, really awesome main event. Don't know how they put champion under Yair Rodriguez's name. He's not a champion. He's not an interim champion. I hate that. It's stupid. He beat two guys and he's an interim champion. Come on. Yeah, Volkanovski, I'm not going to doubt him. Obviously, I'm Australian, so I'm going to have a bit of bias, but who's going to doubt Volkanovski after he absolutely put on a performance against Makhachev? And arguably, in my opinion, he won. But, you know, that Makhachev could have won either. It was really up in the air. I kind of wish it was a draw, because then it would do more hype on that sequel. But yeah, we'll see down the line. But Yair Rodriguez, he's a really, really creative fighter, and you can always like put something out there and just get it done, in a flash. It could be a Leon Edwards moment, but I don't see that happening. I think Alexander Volkanovski is a lot smarter than a lot of other fighters. I don't think he's gonna screw up like Kamaru Usman, because guess what? Alexander Volkanovski comes from striking. He doesn't have a wrestling background, but he's amazing at wrestling. But he doesn't have a wrestling background besides him being like an Australian wrestler. Not a massive. He's more focused in the striking with city kickboxing stuff. I don't see Yair Rodriguez being in the striking, especially when it comes to leg kicks. People have been saying the leg kick difference. No, I think what Alexander Volkanovski will do is chew up the leg of Yair Rodriguez, and Yair will be too tired to actually kick with that leg. I don't think Max Holloway does that, because Max Holloway actually screwed up. Max Holloway was a great kicker. Look what happened. He became a boxer. He became a boxer because of Alexander Volkanovski. So that's how it goes. I think Alexander Volkanovski wins this. I think, honestly, I actually see Yair Rodriguez getting tired and gassing out in somewhere in the middle of the 3rd to 4th round, maybe the 5th. He's going to gas out in the championship rounds, I believe, and I think that will be when an overflow of punches will come his way, and either his team will throw in the towel or the ref will just call it off. But yeah, that is my prediction. I think Volkanovski's got this in the bag, but we'll see. This is a great fight. Rodriguez always brings a fun fight. Volkanovski obviously brings a fun fight. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. UFC 290 on Sunday for me, but Saturday for you guys. Get hyped and lock those in. So let's just do a quick recap. I'm going with Bo Nickel as the favourite, obviously. But if you want, pretty good odds. I'm just saying that. Pretty good odds. If you're a risky bugger, pretty good odds. I'm going with Dan Hooker. That's the underdog pick. Robert Whittaker, easy. I think he gets it done. It's a 3-rounder. He gets it done. Alexander Pantoja, underdog again. I think he gets it done. He's beat him twice now. Let's be real. He's going to get it done. Brazil, remember the scale. They have the scale where they just always have to have another champion come up. They don't have a champion right now, so they need one. It will just sprout up. Comes out anywhere. From like Charles Oliveira, Davison Figueiredo, Nunes, it comes and goes. Anyway, and my final pick, Alexander Volkanovski. I think that's it is clear for the main event, but we'll see. Maybe Leon Edwards' crazy victory happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. See you guys after the fights happen. I'll do a breakdown of what happens, and yeah, I'll see you then. Bye.